Hello, friends. My name is Megan, and this is Stories and Stitches. Welcome back. I'm so glad to see you back. And for anyone who is new here today, thanks so much for stopping by. I hope that you see something that you enjoy. So I am back today with Flosstube episode 7, I think. And once again, I have worked on way more projects than I thought I would have in a 2-week period. It seems that even though I think I'm not doing too much stitching right now, I've actually been able to get quite a bit done, which has been nice. I'm actually finding, as I had talked about in the 2 videos ago, so my last regular Flosstube, I've been doing the D&D dice both for my stitching, but also just for general tasks and things I want to get done throughout the day and throughout the week. And I have been finding that it's really helping me just get things done and do things I want to do and not get stuck, which has been nice. So I'm getting a lot more done. Sometimes it's a short period of time on something, but I'm getting sort of things I want done, and it's not as draining and stuck and trying to figure out what I want to do. So anyways, that is, I think, been helping me get some things done. First off, while I ramble on, you will notice we are in a different location today. And I've been in the other location pretty consistently for the last little bit, but today, this weekend, I am dog sitting for my sister. So there are 2 huskies running around here, and I wanted to get this video still filmed today. So I am filming from her kitchen. So I hope it looks like the lighting should be okay. It's a kind of a dreary day, but we've got a light going on here. So I apologize. There's a bit of glare in my glasses. Hopefully that won't be too distracting. But this way we still get to chat today, and I still get to share what my stitching has been before I go away on my trip. I'm hoping that this camera won't shake too much. It seems like every little tiny touch of the table kind of makes it shake. So I'm going to do my best not to, but I can't guarantee that the doggies walking around won't make it shake a little, but we're going to do our best. So the plan for this video is we're going to look at the whips I've been working on, of course. We are going to talk a little bit about my plans for the next couple weeks, and maybe a little bit for the summer as well. And then we're going to talk about, I have a couple other crafts to show you, and then a little bit of a story section as well for today. So I have quite a bit to show you, so how about we just get right into the stitching. Okay, first up, we have, I thought I had things organized better over here. I do not. First up, we have Tonight We Ride by Autumn Lane Stitchery. That is this one here. It's a bit glary. And I worked on this as spooky stitching for the full moon. I realized when I was gathering up my works the other day to film this video that I completely missed my 13th of the month spooky stitching. So I was going to say I'd have to do it for the 31st, but I'm not going to have this one with me on the 31st. So it'll either only get that one day, or I might try to work on it another day this week to get in that little bit more of spooky stitching. Okay, so here is where it was last time you saw it. And here is where it is today. So I got, I think I worked mostly on this Grim Reaper guy over here, and this tree was where I was working. Maybe a little bit in the black. Can't quite remember, but he looks so cool on camera. I mean, he looks cool in real life too, but the distance in the camera makes him look really neat. I might have to work on him a little bit later today. We'll see. That is where that one is. I got finished, I believe, 227 stitches into that one. Okay, next up. Comment about the shaking the camera and then proceed to put something on the table. Sorry about that. Next up, we have my temperature library. This one I have worked on, I think, twice since I last saw you, and I worked on it this morning so that I am caught up to today, so to yesterday, really. I just realized I put my board away. Let's see if this will work. So this is where we're at with that. I still haven't done anything extra. I'm thought about maybe doing these kitty cats today, and I might still, we'll see. If you could see the list of things I have to do today, it's probably not going to happen, but I can be ambitious. So these are where we're at now. This is the beginning of July. It's been warm with some definitely cooler evenings. So we're getting some of those yellows into the evenings, which has been nice. And I did, oh, I don't actually know how many stitches I've done on that. I know I did 157 on it today, so I probably did somewhere in the vicinity of 300 stitches on this one. 200 and something, 300, 250 to 300 stitches, depending on how much the previous week had been, which I don't have written down right now. If I'm feeling ambitious, I might put it here on the screen. I will show you where it was last time. I guess I did that a little bit backwards, didn't I? But yeah, so I forgot to write that one down. Okay, and that one actually, it's not, we'll talk about it more in my plans. That one's not coming with me when I go away. So you'll either see it fully caught up when I get back because I'll have already done it before I film, or it will be behind. One of the two, which I mean, I guess those are the only two options really. So anyways, next up, I have the first whip that I rolled as part of my new dice game. You may have noticed I've been filming those as shorts right now. I don't know if I'll keep doing that or not, but it was fun to especially do it for the first one and to kind of give you a little peek of where it was when you saw it the last time. So the first roll that I got was the Fox by Cottage Garden Samplings. And that is there. And here's where it was the last time you saw it. And then here is where it is now. He is a very disjointed fox, and I don't actually think you can see everything I worked on. So there is a green tree here, which does show up better in real life. Like it's still very faint because of the dark fabric, but it does show up better. And then I worked on his like paws here. So he's got a head and he's got some feet. But yes, I have gotten this couple of the trees done. I had thought about changing the color of them, but they do show up a little bit better in person, and I kind of like the dimension that they give it, that they're sort of there in the background. It's that dark night kind of feel. I finished, so my goal for rolling the dice was 250 stitches on it, and I ended up finishing 325 stitches into it in total, as I was on a roll the one day. Oh, sorry. Dropping things on the ground over here. Okay, so next up was the project that I worked on last week for my Ringo prompt for the week, which was summer stitching. I also used it for a few weekly prompts because it happened to fit for a lot of things. And I have been really trying to get this one finished. I didn't finish it yet, and I haven't worked on it at all this week. I was going to, and then other things sort of came up instead, but it's getting close. It's close, but there's still a lot to do on it. And this is, I should tell you which one it is. I don't have how it'll look when it's finished. This is Be a Pineapple by Hands On Design. Here is where it was the last time that you saw it. And here is where it is now. So it has, the entire border is done. I don't think you can tell, but I've done a little bit backstitch under the crown. I've totally finished the backstitch on this flamingo. I almost call him a penguin. He's a pink penguin. Okay, so on this flamingo, I have more of this flamingo done. I got quite a lot done. So I still have to do tall, the word tall over here. I have a few flowers, I think, over here, and I have to finish up these flowers. And I have to finish this flamingo. He only has one color on him, but it is getting so close. I am so loving it, and I can see that it's in reach. So I don't know if this one will get done this week before I go away or not. I mean, it's theoretically possible, but I'm not too sure. But I definitely want this one done by the end of the summer. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts, or maybe that one will be done by the end of the summer. Not to mention, what you will see later on is that I'm having a problem with my number of whips that are going on right now. So that one has to get done because I think it's the closest one to a finish right now. Okay, I did 1,596 stitches into that one last week. So I got a ton done on that one. I was really happy with that. Next up, and this one was worked on kind of throughout all of this, where is it? Is my Greenhouse of Oddities by LolaCrow. I think last time you saw it, I had finished the second. Had I finished the second planting? I think I had finished the second planting. If not, I finished it shortly after and then filmed it and put it on as a short. But the second planting is now done. So, sorry, here's where it was the last time you saw it. And here is where it is now. So this is really hard to show for some reason. Here's where it is now. I'll bring it in closer. So sorry, I apologize. I have a needle sticking out of it there. But the second planting is completely finished. So that was our owl over here and both of these cacti. And all of the back stitching is done on it. I'm trying to do the back stitching as I go. And then this third plant, hold on. That was the first planting. This is the second planting. I'm so far behind. Like, we're on the 7th planting, just came out the other day. So the second planting, I've done this plant up here, which I think is a vampire or a bat plant or something like that. And then this plant down here, both of which are completely done, including backstitch. And I'm now working on this third plant. So there were a trio. This was like the trio of oddities one. So there were 3 plants. So I still have to finish this one. This plant has half of the stitches that are in the whole thing. So the whole part was like 840 stitches or something like that. And these two together only had 400 and something, and this one has the rest of it. So I'm halfway done that part. And hopefully we'll be able to finish that one. That one should probably, at least that part will be done by the next time you see it. Now I've said that though. It's dangerous business putting that out there. Okay. I have done, I believe, 476 stitches on that one since the last time you saw it. Except for I had something funny happen with my first planting when I was finishing up the last of the stitches, and somehow I had done something wrong on one of the days. So either the amount that I told you last time that I had worked on it was slightly off, or the amount that I worked on this time was slightly off. At some point I entered a daily stitch count wrong. I'm not really sure how, but it happens. Okay. Next up, this is the 6th project I've worked on in the last couple weeks. This was my second dice roll. So I got 1 dice roll in week 1, and the way it worked out, I got another dice roll in came for the second week. I don't remember when I rolled this one. I'm also using this. So I want to get the 250 stitches for the dice roll, and I am also going to use this for my Ringo. This past week's Ringo prompt was also summer stitching, funnily enough. So both of them got pulled, or two of the same. I was like, oh, perfect, I can finish Be a Pineapple. And then this one got rolled, and I realized it's also a summer project. But you'd like to know what that project is, wouldn't you? It is Berry Bakery by Stitching with the Housewives. So this is what it'll look like. There. Okay, and here is where it was the last time you saw it. And here is where it is now. Sorry, I have a pattern. here is where it is now. I finished the strawberries that are there, and I've started on a couple flowers up at the top. And I have done 117 stitches on this one so far. So I have about 30-ish left to go, give or take, to hit my prompt goal for that one. And ideally, I'd love to get more done for the summer stitching prompt, but I suspect this one won't happen. I think I'll probably just get the 250 and then that one will get put away. Too many other things I'm enjoying working on right now, and for some reason that one's not really calling to me as much yet, even though I really enjoy it and I really like how it looks. It just hasn't been the one that's saying pick me. So kind of good that it came up as part of the dice roll, or I probably wouldn't have picked it up. I also keep forgetting about it, so it's clearly a perfect one for summer stitching. Some we call them berries. Strawberries are summery, but it just doesn't spring to mind. I'm not sure why. Okay, the last one that I worked on, yes, the last cross stitch piece I worked on was actually a new start. I was going to say another new start. There isn't, it's not another new start. It's just the new start. And this was my birthday start, which I think I mentioned last time. And I actually managed to start this on my birthday this year. Last year I forgot and started my piece like a couple days after my birthday. So this one I actually started on my birthday. And this is Goldilocks by Scott Gustafson, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And I am doing this on 25 count easy grid fabric. And I have decided that I want to try out 10 stitch. I haven't done a whole project in 10 stitch before. I've used half stitches or 10 stitch, like when a dimensions piece calls for it. And I've seen a lot of them look really nice with the, on the HAEDs. And of course it is faster, which is always nice when you want to do so many big pieces. So I thought that this would be a good one to try that out on. And we'll see how it goes. If I really dislike it, I can always take it out. Or I've seen people kind of switch partway through and you can't tell too much, especially if it's just a small section. So I am doing this 2 strands over 1 10 stitch. And I've just got the very top corner done. I apologize if you can hear all the paper rustling here, but just got that top corner done. And I mean, I don't actually think you can tell that it's 10 stitch. I'm doing it with, so the only stitch I'm doing is the one I typically do as my top stitch. So it looks right to my eye, like it doesn't look like I have unfinished stitches. And so far, I mean, you definitely can't tell on camera. Even if I get super close, I don't think you can tell. And I'm liking the coverage, and this is all the dark colors, which I think would be the ones that would have the worst coverage. So far, I'm really liking it. So we'll see how it goes. And I was able to get in 517 stitches in that one since I started it the day I started on my birthday, which was July 12th. So that is that there. And if you're thinking some of this up here is bad coverage, that's just stitches not finished in. Because I don't really do squares. I do more cross country when I stitch. I'll sometimes do a square, but I like cross country. And I'm really worried about getting lines, and I've seen so many with lines, and I'm not interested in that. So that is all. That's everything that I worked on this week, or the last couple weeks. I managed to get quite a bit done, so I'm really happy with all of that. So I think we are on to plans now. I talked a little bit, I've mentioned a bit here and there, but first, it will be a little bit longer before my next video. I'm thinking over the summer will probably be more like 3 weeks, as opposed to 2 every 2 weeks. It'll probably be more like 3 weeks just because of where my travel schedule falls. But I am kind of considering doing a few more shorts. So depending on how my Wi-Fi is and all that jazz when I'm away, you may see a few more shorts with my stitching on vacation. But I'm headed to Newfoundland next Saturday, and I'll be there for 2 weeks. So my current plan is to record my video the first weekend of August when I get back, and you should see it on August 8th if all goes as planned. That's the plan. We'll see how that goes. And then after that, again, the way it falls, I think I'll be away. We'll see. But it'll probably be 3 weeks, give or take. So summer is a bit of a more of a, this summer is a bit trickier to sort of balance things in because I'm away quite a lot. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, what am I going to be working on in the next few weeks? So I'm going to Newfoundland. We are flying. We're flying there and then renting a car to drive around, and we'll fly back because it adds, from where I am in Ontario, it had so much extra time to drive there. So this was the way that sort of worked out best. We can get the most value for our time. So I am taking, at the moment, 3 projects to work on. I'm taking my greenhouse of oddities, which, I mean, in theory, I'd love to get a lot more on that one done. So I'm taking Greenhouse of Oddities. I'm taking Northern Nights by Dimensions, which I will maybe try and put a picture of it up here if you haven't seen that one. Because that is one that I try to work on when I'm either camping or at a cabin or some type of thing along those lines. And we'll be at that at least once or twice when we're away. So that one is coming with me. I will probably work on it throughout the trip is my thoughts, but definitely for a couple of those days where if we get stitching in, that will be the one I work on. And then the third one I'm taking is actually a Mill Hill kit. It's a Christmas one because I haven't got any Christmas stitching in for Christmas in July yet this month. And last year I did a ton. I think I did all Christmas, almost all July. So I haven't done as much yet this year. And we will be away for my typical Christmas stitching days, which is the 24th and 25th. So I am taking this one here. It's from the Mouse Trilogy. I'm trying to see what it's called. It's called Mac Cheese. So last year I made 2 of these, the other 2 in this trilogy for my nieces for Christmas. There's a third, there's like a fourth like mini one that's not quite in the series, but is almost like an offshoot that I may do still. But this is one I'm making for myself. And I thought with a Mill Hill, the nice thing is they're small, they're contained. I'm not taking the beads. If by some crazy chance I happen to get all of the stitching done on him, and I know from experience there's a ton of stitching on this one. This is one of their slightly bigger ones. Not a button and beads, but I think it's more that size. Like a 5x5, I think. So there's a lot of stitching in that, like a lot. The last one I did took forever, it felt like. So I'll do the beads at home. If I happened to get it done, I'll do them either at home or when I'm camping later this summer. But I thought it would be a good one to take. It fits in the same bag, so I'm taking 1 bag. I will be taking all 3 projects in my 1 Minions bag. Everything I need will fit in here, including my cross stitch pouch. So everything will fit in here, and this should fit in my backpack. So it will come with me on the plane. Those are the 3 projects I'm taking. And I honestly have zero idea how much stitching I'll be getting done. There's definitely a couple of days where we have downtime because I like to make sure I schedule in some downtime. And especially the first day, we're leaving so early to catch our flight that I haven't really scheduled us anything. We can kind of wander around St. John's if we'd like to, but there's no pressure. So we may get a bit of stitching in that day and also on the airplane. We'll see. We'll see what I get done. I'm going there to enjoy Newfoundland, so hopefully I'll get some stitching in, and however much I get done, I get done. That's just the way that one's going to go. That, I think, is all of my plans. Those are all of my plans. If you are just here for the cross-stitch portion, then I will let you know we're going to head into other crafts right now. I only have a couple, but I will say goodbye to you now. If you are headed out, thank you so much for joining. I'll see you in a few weeks. I hope your summer is going well. For the rest of you who are still here, at least for now, I have a couple other crafts. So the last time I saw you, I had finished a dresser runner, and I believe I showed you the dresser runner. And I had told you it was the long weekend, and I was hoping to get a bit more sewing done. I ended up getting quite a bit more sewing done that weekend. It worked out really well. I rolled for one of my other projects, which I'll show you in a second, and then after I rolled my dice again, I rolled for another one. So I got a ton of sewing done. I was really impressed with my sewing progress that weekend. So the first thing I finished was actually two things. And because I made one for myself and one for my mom of these project folders. So they're almost identical, the two of them. So I didn't bring hers, but hers has her strappy thing is blue, I think is the navy. I couldn't remember what it looked like for a second there. So this is the project folder. I followed the tutorial by Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. I will link it below. And it is a little more of a complicated one. It was the first time I've used vinyl. May have used vinyl once before, but not very well. So this folder has a cloth pocket here on this side. It has a vinyl pocket here on this side. And then just fold up. So the fabric is foxes, these little foxes that I think are adorable. My little fabric here is also for my inside pocket. I didn't have quite enough, I don't think, to do both that color, which I think is what happened. So it's the color of this one. And then my zipper, I have this zipper here, which I get from Zipper Valley, which is a local company to me that does gorgeous, really cool zippers. I love them. And then the same with this little fob. I put a little kitty fob on here, kitty zipper on it. So that was my project folder. I also was very happy with my binding. This was the first time I had done finishing the binding on the diagonal. I had tried it one time before on something else and failed miserably and gave up. So I think after that weekend and a little bit of more sewing later on, I think I have it down. I figured out how to do it. Might not be perfect, but I have figured out how to do it. So I'm really happy about that. That was the first thing I finished. The other thing I worked on, I actually didn't bring them with me, but I finished all of the blocks for the quilt that I'm making for my mom. So if you saw in my other crafts whip parade, I am working on a quilt for my mom, and I now have 16 blocks. I have all 16 blocks done. They're all put together. They're all assembled. I did a short you can go check out that has most of them. I think I had done 12, give or take, at that point. So you can check that out if you want to see the blocks, but all of the blocks are finished. It's now put away. It might come back out again when we come back from Newfoundland, and I'll work on the next part of it. So it's actually, I was starting to worry that it wasn't going to be able to get finished by her birthday in the fall, but it may now. Like, I may actually be able to get it done. So I'm really happy about that. I got so much done. Like, this dice situation I'm doing, I'm telling you, it is working great. I have put together, and I am so, when I get into something, I do it fully, right? So I've now created a whole point system for myself. I have like a rewards catalog that I can earn points towards, so I know what I'm working towards. And it's working. And I figure if it's working and I'm getting stuff done and I'm getting things checked off my list and no tears, no like stuck on decisions for forever and ever and ever, I'm going to stick with it for now. You know, you just got to do what works. It might be silly, but if it works, right? Okay, so I think, oh no, that's not all my crafts. I was going to say I was all done, but I'm not. I worked on something last night. So I created a dice rolling one for my other crafts as well. So similar to the one that lets me pick my whips, I figured I'm never picking up some of these knitting and crochet projects. So I'm going to roll at least one a week as well for those. And the goal for those ones is about an hour worth of work on it, because it's harder to say like so many rows, all that kind of stuff. There is one that I might do so many rows because it works out, the one blanket I'm working on, but long story long, an hour is the goal. And I have a new like part of my points thing where I can like lose points if I don't accomplish the thing. With some of the other crafts and that, there might be a bit of flexibility if I pick something up and I'm like, I just don't want to, but I'm trying to stretch myself, right? I'm sorry. I was thinking how well I had done not rambling today, and then it was like, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. I'm just going to do all the rambling. I have worked on my crochet top. So this is what it will look like. Mine is purple, but this is what the top is. I don't have a picture of where you saw it last, and I don't really think you would notice too much. I was just working in this top bit. And at the moment, I have finished the first part of the bodice, front bodice. So this is where I'm at now. I think I was probably at just halfway last time you saw it. This is where I am now. This is the second time I have done this section because the first time I used, I don't know, the needle was wrong. Everything was wrong. It was bad news bears. It was not going, it wasn't going to fit. It wasn't going to fit anybody. It was so teeny, teeny, tiny. So I was actually hoping to get a little bit more done on it last night. And then the next part in the pattern is confusing. So I'm trying to figure out, I have to do some trim on this section, but the way it tells me to do it, I'm not going to end on the right side. So either the pattern is wrong or I counted wrong and I've done one too many rows. So I'm going to consult with probably my mom and see what her thoughts are on it, and we'll go from there. I'll either do an extra row because I'm a bit long in the top anyways, like I'm long torsoed anyways, so I might do an extra row, or I might take out a row because I don't think I can get, I have to do, like, I'm over here, this is the right side that you're looking at now, I have to do a trim, and I'm pretty sure I just have to do the trim on this side, and here. But if I do that, I end up back here, which will put me working on the wrong side. And the next row is supposed to be on the right side. So I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what has happened. And I'm pretty sure that I'm looking at the right side as the right side. So I have to figure that one out. But I got an hour done on that last night. So I was very, very happy. With that, I actually got some progress, and now I have to figure out what my next step is going to be. This one here, because it's still so early, I am working, it is just in this little bag. It's not going to last long in this little bag, but I was going away one day and took it in this, and it's just stayed there. Now that is all my other crafts. So if you are here for just the crafty bits and not the stories, then again, I will say goodbye to you. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'm enjoying this. I love being able to spend time with you and to share my projects with you and whatnot. So, and I feel like I'm falling into a bit of a groove, trying to get comfortable with my camera and my microphone and all of those things, and relaxing and just enjoying this time. So I'm going to move into the story section now, and I will see those of you who are sticking around on the flip side. Okay, so it is time for the story section. I don't actually have too much. I have like in between not a lot and a lot. Just because I think with everything else I've been working on, I haven't been watching a lot of shows. I've been trying to catch up on YouTube. Catch up on YouTube, I say. I mean, there's only so much catching up you can do. And I'll fall into tracks where I just watch Flosstube videos, or I just watch BookTube videos, or I just watch gaming videos. And I'm trying to mix it up a little bit and catch up on some other ones and some journaling videos. And I don't know. There's a lot. My watch later list is ridiculous. And I actually just started using the watch later list, but it's a scary place, my friends. So I've been trying to do a little bit of that. I haven't really watched a lot of shows and movies. I can't really think of what I've been watching. My brother recently rewatched The Mentalist. Sorry, the dogs just went running, and we had an incident yesterday. I had been here for an hour, maybe an hour. And the puppy, so she's like a year and a half maybe, decided she needed to catch something in the backyard. So I am now a little bit leery every time they go running. Anyways, sorry about that. Hopefully you can't hear too much doggy craziness over here. And I think they're just hearing people out back. So, okay, where was I? My brother was rewatching The Mentalist and was messaging me about it for the longest time. So that got in my head. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I've been rewatching The Mentalist. We'll see if I rewatch to the end. I tend to hit a few seasons and then I fall off of it and start watching something else. But that's what I've been watching lately. I have actually been listening to a few books, so I've started to give myself a significant number of points. I mean, all things considered. I'm still working out how many points each thing should be worth. I'm bad at guesstimating how long something is going to take and how much effort I give it. But so I've been giving more points to reading and listening to audiobooks. So I've done a lot of listening to audiobooks. So I finished reading The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan, which we were talking about last time. And I had forgotten how much I love the second series of the Percy Jackson series. So I love the characters. I love Leo. He's so great. So I really enjoyed that. So I'm eager for the second book to come available from my library. I really should just pick them up on audiobook based on how much I re-listen to them, but for the moment I will wait until it comes on my backup in my library. That one I really liked. And I would recommend them if you enjoy middle grade fiction, if you enjoy sort of mythological type things. It's based off the Greek and Roman gods, and yeah, I love it. I think they're a lot of fun. Next, I listened to a novella. It was about a 4-hour listen. So I did it all in one afternoon while I was working on other things. I listened to that. It's called Under One Roof by Ali Hazelwood. It is a sort of contemporary romance, I guess. And I read my first book by her earlier this year, I think, maybe last year, either earlier this year or last year, and I just fell in love. I love her writing style. She writes about women in STEM. So there are romances that surround women in STEM fields. And they're just fun. I'm enjoying them. I like her writing style. They're a lot of fun. They're nice light reads. And the novella was no exception. And essentially what it is a woman is left a house by her grad school advisor or her PhD advisor, who is more like family. So she's left a house in the will when she passes away. And it turns out that that house is actually split. She has left half of a house, and the other owner also wants to live in the house. And they do not get along when they first meet because of a whole lot of reasons. There's lots and lots of reasons why that is, which I won't tell you because it's pretty early on, but it's still, best to find out yourself. They don't get along. So it is your classic enemies to lovers trope. And it was great. It was well done. I mean, yes, it was only 4 hours. It was short, but it was good. It was very well done in that time period. So I loved it. It was perfect. It was perfect for the afternoon. The next book I picked up on audiobook was like the complete opposite of that one. So the complete opposite. And it's called False Witness by Karen Slaughter. It's the first book I read by Karen Slaughter. She writes sort of mystery thrillers, suspense, and it is heavy. It is not a light mystery thriller. It is very heavy. It's good. I'm enjoying it, which is why I kept listening to it. If I wasn't enjoying it to some extent, I'd have stopped. But it's definitely a heavy topic. The topic is heavy. The content is a lot. It's a long book. I think it was like something like 18 hours maybe, the audiobook. I am listening to it sped up. I think I'm about 75% of the way through. But yes, so it's mystery thriller. The subject matter is a lot dark. I mean, I guess it is when it's mystery thriller, but this one feels dark and it feels heavy. I am enjoying it. It's very well written. I am hooked. The characters are pretty much unlikable across the board, really. Like, I don't love any of the characters personally. Like, I'm not like, oh, they're amazing. No, they're not a very likable bunch. And yet, I'm still hooked on it. So I will say, if you are going to pick this up, if you do like mystery thrillers, heavier mystery thrillers, there's nothing cozy about this. I would advise, if you feel you need to, or if it is something that affects you when you're reading things, look up content warnings. The entire book, I would say, is content warnings. So I'm going to put that out there. I'm not going to say anything that will spoiler it, you can look up the synopsis. I'm not even going to give a synopsis right now. It's just because of it's a lot. It jumps back and forth from the past to the future, and the crimes are intertwined, and there's murder, there's mayhem, there's assault, there's stalking, there's a lot. There's a lot. So look up content warnings if needed. A lot of the content warnings aren't even going to spoil it. Like, they are the main plot. You get them right off the bat. Chapter 1, chapter 2, they're early, but it's good. I'm enjoying it. It's totally different, but it's exactly what I wanted as well. Like, I wanted something mystery, thriller, suspense, gritty. That's that one. And my first Karen Slaughter. So at least I now know what type of book she writes if I'm prepared for the next time I go into it. And then the last section is games. I'm laughing because I have dogs under the table right now, so I have no idea if they're gonna hit something here. But last section is games, and I have played. What have I played? I've played a couple demos. I played one called Galacticare, which was fun. I love the premise. Like, you're basically creating a hospital in space. I like the premise. There were a few storyline things, a few like descriptions that I'm not sure I love in the game. So we'll see. We'll see. It's definitely on the maybe list for games that I may or may not pick up in the future. Again, once they're off of demo. Might have been the only demo that I played. I can't even remember. Might have played another one called Mind Over Magic, which, if you've ever played Don't Starve, so this was a demo. If you ever played the game Don't Starve, this is by the same company, and it has that survival element. Did I die? I may not have survived, but you're essentially creating a magic school, and you are recruiting students, and you're training them in magic, and at the same time you're kind of fighting off this void or darkness that's trying to creep over and take over the school. And you do that by creating more things and teaching more students and building your magic school. So there's building, there's creating, there's farming mechanics in some ways because you have to farm a little bit, there's spell casting things, and there's a lot in it. And I had a lot of fun. It was a bit of a steep learning curve to get going, but it was fun. I'm not sure when that one comes out. I'll have to take a look. And I don't think the demo is available anymore, but you'll probably hear me talk about that one more in the future. And then the last one, which is available now, is called Roots of Pacha. It's a farming sim, but it is a farming sim. You may have heard of it. It's a farming sim set in like a prehistoric time period. So they give a disclaimer at the beginning that it's not based on any civilization. It's not based on a real culture or anything. It's just an imagining of what it might be like for a culture in sort of prehistoric times. So you're a clan who's been traveling, you've just found a new place, you're setting up your new home. You are needing to plant and discover things. So there's a whole concept around new ideas. So one of my people the other day had the new idea of, oh, it takes forever to go and grab water from the river every time we need to water our plants. What if we create something that like brings the water from underground? And so you work on creating these inventions, all of things that we know now, things like, and like other things as well. I discovered a mechanic the other day where you get to play music, play your flute in a mini game to befriend animals, and eventually you can either take them into your home as pets or they can live on your farm. So I was so excited about that section, and I am so excited to play more. Like I stopped last night after I had done one day and done that a few times. You have a kind of a limit to how much you can do that in a day. And that is like all I can think about is going back and playing and befriending some of the bunnies that I found on my journey. So I am having so much fun with that one. That one, I don't think it's available on Switch right now. I do think it plans to come to Switch. So if you are a Switch player, keep an eye out for that one. It is currently available on Steam, is where I got it. So it is on Steam. I got it as part of the Steam summer sale, which unfortunately is over by the time you're seeing this, but I got it on Steam for PC and it's great. I am very much enjoying that one. Definitely one to keep an eye out for. I think that is everything for today. There hasn't been too much progress on anything else and any of my other creative projects. They're all in progress, but kind of half on hold because packing for Newfoundland has sort of taken precedence over a lot of things. Because that has to happen. And I'm a pre-packer. Like, I need to have it done beforehand or it's way too stressful. So that's what I've been doing. That's probably what I'll be doing this week. And yeah, anyways, now I'm just delaying. I'm just delaying. Like, I'm rambling and rambling. I hear Flosstubers talk about it and I see what it is. It's the saying goodbye. The goodbye is very challenging on Flosstube. So I will wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. If you stuck it this far, if you're here to the end, thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. I hope that your summer or winter, if you are other side of the equator, is going well so far. And I hope that you have a wonderful next few weeks until I see you again. Have a wonderful day. Bye.